hair is standing on end just thinking about it. My hair is standing on end just thinking about it. My hair is standing on end just thinking about it. My hair is standing on end just thinking about it.
Fifi,
Hey,
what's going on?
we are here. We are here. Everybody else is.
Yeah, Jamal's on right now. Hey, Jamal,
Hello,
how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. This is like our pre. This is like our pre-show. This is like behind the
Oh,
scenes because we have 3 minutes left, 2 minutes and change.
Okay.
So it's like we're live, but this is just like behind the scenes kind of stuff.
Okay.
Jamal, where are you calling in from?
Fayetteville, Arkansas.
You're in Fayetteville. Okay,
Yeah.
great. The so Fifi, we're just bringing the Fayetteville squad together. Except we're all going to be Big Ten people, except you. So I'm Michigan State. Devyn's Purdue, right? And Jamal, you're Iowa, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
forever
So
hog.
yeah.
Go hogs.
Hey,
SEC, I say.
it seems like a long time ago, but a short time ago when we were in Fayetteville shooting.
I remember
Yeah.
that. I remember
Yeah.
that now.
So that what you were seeing, and before we jumped on here, that trailer, that's the trailer for all the content or some of the content that we were shooting when we were
Oh,
down
okay.
there. Yeah. So it's a cool series. You should check it out if you guys haven't. The We did 5 track and field episodes. So we did hurdles with Devin Allen. We did heptathlon with Talia. We did sprint with Shanti. We did shot put with Krauser. And what was our 5th one? Pole vault with Sandy Morris.
Hmm.
And then we did fencing, swimming, breakdancing, artistic gymnastics, and rhythmic gymnastics.
So you like covering all the stuff that was in the Olympics, kind of.
Yeah, yeah. So, we're kind of rooted in track and field. That's kind of where we started. It was kind of like our base to begin with. And, so guys like Devin Allen and Krauser, these were like kind of the original Sandy Morris, same thing, right? Uh, and then with Boogie in the squad, we kind of that's how we got into Fayetteville. So we're like a minute away. Let me see if Devin Charlton is. I don't see her yet in the room here, but it is 5:00, and that is official. We are live once again on the world's greatest live stream show. This is like day 17. How many days there are in the Olympics are the days that we've been doing this, and I think there are 17 days. So day 17. Devin is right on time. She pops in. That 60-meter speed is popping right in. We're gonna bring her right in.
Hey.
Devin, we're just throwing you right in. Perfect timing. You got within that 5 minute or that 5 p.m. minute, 11 p.m. Paris time.
Yeah.
This is awesome, guys. So I'm so happy to have this group, all new people on the live stream show, which is always fun. So first thing first, let's introduce ourselves. We'll kind of go around from Fifi to Devin to Jamal and then back to me.
Hi everyone, my name is Shafiqua Maloney, but everybody calls me Fifi. I'm from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I ran the 8 and the 400. I qualified for both in Paris, but I only ran the 800 because of the scheduling. It's the Arkansas Go Hogs. I'm not sure what else. I'm 25 years old, and yeah, I think that's the most I know right now.
Nice.
All right. I'm Deb Charlton. I'm from the Bahamas. Competed in the 100-meter hurdles here. 2-time Olympian and ended up 6th place.
I'm Jamal Britt. I'm a 110 hurdler. I'm from the University of Iowa, as we said earlier, and I'm 25 years old. So.
And also training at University of Arkansas.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey Devin, your audio is just a little bit quiet. So if there's a way to possibly,
Yeah, I'm trying to get my headphones hooked up. They're working.
I mean, we can hear you, but it's just a little bit quiet.
Okay.
So I mean, first things first, I want to hear about kind of your guys' take on the Olympic experience overall, and then just we'll start diving in and breaking things down and see where we want to go within the show. Fifi, you want to start us off?
Well, I gotta be first.
Let's talk. You want to talk about the food? You want to talk about the?
Oh, we talking about that food. I lost a couple pounds up there. It was different. I was there from the 21st, and I don't know if we didn't plan to have that much people in there at that time, but like you go in there at probably after 7:30, 8 o'clock, you catch hell to find some food, protein.
Really?
It was pretty bad the first couple of days. Um, the food. They have different stations. They had World, Asia, and French, and I think almost every day it was almost the same food every day. So there was no distinct difference between the different stations they had. But for the most part, you're an athlete. You travel a lot, and usually you have to make do with what you have and find the best thing to keep your body fueled and make sure you're ready to go. So I did what I needed to do where food is concerned.
How about you, Devin?
Yeah. So the food situation, I thought it was okay. There were some gems. Like there's some really good stations, like Shafiqua was saying. So like you know where to go and find like the good stuff. But yeah, for the most part, when I get to these type of competitions, I've learned to sometimes just like suck it up and like just eat whatever's available, just for the convenience of it. And so, if that means just putting it down with some extra salt and butter just to make it taste good, yeah, gotta do
For
what you
sure.
gotta do sometimes. Yeah.
Find the salt and pepper section,
You
you good
got
to
to get it
go.
done.
Yep.
You know,
Salt and
I've
pepper
been
sauce.
saying this, Jamal. I've been saying this for 16 days. This is the greatest era of track and field in the history of track and field. And this, I keep preaching it to everybody. The field is so deep in every event. Like we had Kyle Garland on yesterday,
Mm.
and Kyle, because he's a decathlete, he knows, he knows kind of everybody. We were just going through it. We're just like, this is the greatest era of all time. Like, Jamal, talk to us a little bit about that, and then I want to talk specifically about women's hurdles because that was just like on the edge of our seat. But Jamal, why don't you give us a sense of how good all of these athletes are right now in track and field?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much every year and each event, I mean, everybody evolves, like just, if you look back, like, maybe like a couple years, 5 years ago, you probably think, just bring up like for the women's hurdle, like, 12-2 was pretty much, rare or impossible at the time and stuff. Cause, and even if you look at the men's hurdle and stuff, like Grant, who's consistently running sub 13, the only person I was, able to do that many times was, like Alan Johnson. And bring up to other events and stuff, like with the 400, 43 to even medal this year. So it's pretty crazy, to look at, you know, all these events, include like Povo, like Mondo, like he's pretty much, breaking the world record, and also Sydney as well, broke the world record 6 times. So you never really see people like this, in the past like that. And now you look at it like the sport is just evolving, and it's honestly, it's actually making the sport grow just a little more, just, to the point that much we deserve just how deep this field is.
Yeah, I mean, it's just incredible. It's just, I feel like I'm a preacher. Like anyone who's watching any of this with me, it's like I'm giving the rundown on everything. I'm like, let's talk 100-meter hurdles, Devin. I mean, man, like it literally, any of you women could have won that race. Like it was that type of field. So we asked this question that we do. It's called "What Were You Thinking?" I really want to ask you, going into the finals, as you're coming into the blocks, what are you thinking as you're in the Olympic finals, and you have a shot at winning that race? What's that mindset? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I just do my best not to think of it as an Olympic final, not to make it a bigger race than it actually is. And so I try and take the same mindset from every single meet. So like I'm not stressing like, oh, it's the Olympics, I have to do something different. Like, no, I just go over my race plan in my head. I just think of what I want my first movement to be, and so I'm thinking, okay, just react to the gun and project my hips, like that sort of thing. So just like short cues, just replaying it over and over again. Because I realize that once I focus on like one thing and it goes really really well, it sets up the rest of the race for me.
So it's kind of like one centering thought as you're getting into the blocks, or is that
Yeah.
like yeah? I mean, when we were shooting with Devin Allen one time, that we were having a conversation with Michael Cherry, and Michael's like, "When do you start to get locked in?" And Devin's like, "Well, like right when I get in the blocks." And Michael's like, "What? What are you talking about? I'm 24, 48 hours beforehand. I'm getting locked in." And Devin's like, "You're wasting all of your energy, man. Maybe it works for you,
Yeah.
but it's like the hurdles in particular are so tense and stressful, and I'm not sure everyone realizes it until you're there. It's kind of a violent sport. It's loud. You guys are making a lot of noise, like you're hitting hurdle. Like it's it shocked me when I saw hurdles live the first time. I mean, there's no easy way to go over hurdles, right? I mean, it's got to be attack mode.
Yeah. You can't. It's not a passive thing at all. And so it's like you can't be afraid to hit the hurdle, because then of course you're gonna try and avoid it, and it tends to like elevate you over the hurdle, which isn't efficient at all until you have to run through the hurdles literally as if like you'll hit it, but you're just like skimming the top of it.
The we got a question here from Sean in the chat though. He's asking, yeah, the surface seemed really fast. Did that mess up any of your timing on the hurdles for you in particular, Devin?
No, I don't think so. I don't think the track felt like super different compared to like any other track. I don't know if I get into like the fast track, slow track jazz.
You're just running.
Yeah.
You got to keep it simple, right? I mean, at some point, it's just like all these factors, whatever. I'm just doing my thing.
Yeah, and I guess too, for like a lot of the times that some of the ladies have put up this year, I feel like there wasn't any time that was really like super fast in the hurdles. Like of course it took 12:3 to win, which is like really really fast. But these are that came from women who have done it already. And Masai was already at 12:2 her, so I don't think there's anything too crazy.
Yeah. So, Fifi, what was your experience? I mean, you made it for both the 400 and the 800, and it was. Tell me about like the timing of the events. How did that shake out? Why you only were able to run in one?
Well, the first round of the 400 was gonna be on the finals day of the 800, and
Ah,
that was gonna work out. That was not gonna work out after 2 rounds of the 800, but I mean, seeing how the I call it the repatriated round, however they call it. Have you seen how that round works? It might be a possibility in the future, but I got to talk with coach and see how that works out. But I was training for the 800 all year, so I knew no matter what happened, that's where I was gonna be. I busted my butt on the track for the 800. We was gonna run that 2 laps. So when I qualified for the 400, and I realized that I couldn't run it, it wasn't like a heartbreak or anything because I knew what I was training for, and so I was where I needed to be.
like why in the world, Fifi, would you go 2 laps around that track? Why would
It
you do
was
that to yourself?
it wasn't my choice. I always say that was Coach Johnson's choice. I just went with the flow, and his decisions, as you can see, turned out to be very fruitful. It was one of those things where you put your feelings and thoughts and emotions to the back burner and listen to what your coach saying, and it turned out what he said. Running the 800 will be better for me, and it has been. I ain't
I
giving
mean,
up on the 400 though.
do you guys, Jamal and Devin, do you guys ever think about, okay, if this hurdles thing doesn't exactly work out, I'm gonna move on up. I'm gonna move on up just for fun, like Fred Curley, and I'm gonna, you're gonna go opposite. You're gonna go 400.
No, I retired from the 400 hurdles. That was like my second event in college, so I'm not trying to touch that anytime soon. So,
Devin, you're itching for it, aren't you? Though.
Not at all. No, I I have like the most amount of respect for the 400 hurdlers because I'm just like you're building up that lactic and then trying to take a hurdle at the same time. Like I did it for like our house sports in high school, the 400 hurdles just to get some points, and of course I took it out way too fast as like short sprinters tend to do, and completely died and tried to lift my lead leg over the last hurdle and like it just couldn't get it up.
And what happened?
I ate the track that day.
I know.
So
There's so many sports like that where you just go. I mean, the one thing about hurdles is, like I've said this one before. It's like for you guys for a living. Like normally people are like, oh, I got to get through this hurdle in my life, or I got to get over that. Like you guys have chosen to make a living by putting hurdles in front of you. Like that's your choice. What kind of mentality is that? What kind of like? Give me a peek inside your brains on the hurdle situation.
well, I kind of just did the event in high school because originally I just wanted to be a sprinter. But of course, my coach, sees that I'm tall and lengthy and stuff. She told me, to go over this hurdle, and I tried my best to like purposely messed up, but it didn't work out. So I ended up becoming a hurdler. Then in time, I was just getting faster and stuff, and I was like getting recruited just by big schools and stuff. So I just took it as where I can go so far, and I end up, even though I was a combo hurdler, then when I went to Iowa, it was just I just the short hurdles were just better for me, so I just ended up taking that way, and so far this is where I am. So
Hey guys, I want you guys to give me. First of all, does anyone have a question for anyone else here? That's the first one I have. Do you guys want to ask each other anything?
I'm gonna think of something.
All right. Let's plant that seed. Think of something. So now I want to go through a bunch of track and field events that you guys thought were like really interesting, really fun, crazy. Where should we start, you guys? What event should we go to?
The craziest event for me that I watched that I was looking forward to seeing, and then it didn't pan out at all how I thought it would. The men's 1500. Like Jakob not meddling at all was like not on my bingo card. And then like Cole just ran such a really smart and like, tactical race. Like it was really good to see how that played out, especially the storylines that were going on like all last year and this year.
Yeah.
Super interesting.
It was interesting. We had Henry Wynn on, and he's one of Josh Kerr's training partners with the Brooks Beast. We had him on a few times, and he did say, he's obviously Team Josh, but he's like, if there's somebody, if these guys kind of fall asleep, you better watch out for Cole Hawker. And that's kind of what happened. I think they both got into themselves, and maybe Cole just didn't have any pressure on him. I don't know. How do you guys? Jamal, how do you see that one? And Fifi, comment on that one as well. How do you see kind of that head-to-head thing, and then somebody else seemingly, he doesn't come out of nowhere, but nobody was talking about him as winning that race.
I think it's just track and field. Like anything can happen. I mean, yes, no one wasn't necessarily thinking about that at the time, but when it comes to like big event, big meets like this, people like to show up, and it's been like that for years.
Fifi, what was your take on that in particular, but maybe another event as well that you're like, man, that was crazy. And yours was pretty crazy too. Your event was.
I seen the 1500 kind of how my race was. Honestly, I don't think anybody was looking for me in the final either. But as an athlete, whether or not there is pressure on you, you got to trust in you and your training and what you prepared to do. And so, whether somebody expects you out there or not, you can't let that go in here because I think a lot of athletes like, dang, ain't nobody paying me no attention. Nah, that's good sometimes. You can focus on what you need to get done. And I think he ran a smart race. He ran a good race. And sometimes in races, everybody in the front be worried about the people next to them and be forgetting about the folks that's behind him that's coming up. And I think that's another thing that happened there too.
Yeah, the tactics. I mean, Fifi, talk a little bit about like the tactics in a race that's like an 800, 1500.
I'm probably not the best person to talk about tactics. I just started running the 800 in 2021, and so I'm still figuring it out. But I think if it's one thing this year showed me, it doesn't matter how fast you are. If tactically you're not smart, a lot of things can go very, very wrong for you. And I seen that a lot this year in the 800, the 1500. I personally, I think I have a lot of foot speed than most of the girls out there, and I'm probably as strong. But tactically, if I'm in the race and I don't make the right choice, it don't matter how fast I am or how strong I am, it would not play out in my favor. And I think when it comes to from the 800 up, it's a lot about tactics. I mean, of course, you got to be in shape, but for the most part, you got to be able to run a smart race.
Yeah, I mean, there's all those little. I mean, ever since we started World's Greatest, and now I can see things a lot better. But I learn every time. Like we had Clayton Murphy on 3-4 times during this last week and a half, and just picking his brain, and you can, he's like, yeah, you can have all your strategy, and it can all go out the window very quickly. So, you can't really hold on to anything because it's a very fluid race, and and I think the 800 has gotten a lot more physical as well. It seems like
you ain't got to tell me.
So how do you deal with that, Fifi? How are you dealing with like the physicality in those packs that you guys are?
I can't panic. I think that's one of the biggest things. When that starts, you can't panic because when you panic, you start tense up, and then you start reversing. So I try not to panic. I also try not to get too physical because it takes energy. But at the same time, you're just not going to allow folks to just bounce you around the track. So it just depends on you and how you feel as a person. I personally don't like to bump anybody. One, fear of disqualification, but at the same time, I can't be out here having folks punching me around in the race either. So it's just you as a person and what you feel comfortable with. Like I said, I just started running the 800 and I'm learning that I'm going to have to stand my ground, so to speak, stand my ground a little bit.
We have a new little segment that we're going to test because we're coming back. We're going to take some days off tomorrow. We're going to do one more show. Then we're going to take some days off, and then we're coming back for the Paralympics. So what we're going to do is have a lot of the Olympians, from Paris, kind of come in, and also we'll have kind of like we did this time, some Olympians that are actually at Paris. In this case, Paralympians in Paris. They'll be in the show as well, but we're testing out a new little segment. It's a trivia segment. So my producer, Quincy, has not been on the show at all, and we decided to bring him in the show. There he is. So he's been the man behind the scenes, feeding us all sorts of facts and trivia and all that, and popping videos on when we needed it. But Quincy's like, I got an idea for some trivia. It might be fun. So Q, I'll let you take it over.
Well, yeah. Hi. How's it going? I'm Quincy, obviously, by the name tag. But yeah, I got a few questions kind of ranging a couple different topics. I'll save my hurdles one for last since we have some special guests in that. So the first one is how many meals were served per day to athletes?
How many meals served per day to the athletes?
There was no specific. You talking about in the cafeteria?
Well, I'm talking about when you Google that question, what comes up?
Oh.
3.
So in total, I would guess.
Yeah.
I know the
Depends
answer.
on what you consider a meal. Because I would consider a snack a meal. So it'd be like 3 meals and 2 snacks, or 5 meals in total, including snack. So you gotta be a little bit more specific, my friend.
Well, this is a high number, so I'd say go with your most generous estimate that you can come up
That's
with.
a high number. Oh.
So you're saying in total, right?
In total.
for all of
Per
the
day, I would say like 50.
It depends on the athlete. Because I feel like marathon, like folks that run their longer events might need more, and those who don't run as much might eat less. So
very interesting thought there. All right, I'm gonna get the calculator. So Devin, you had a guess for per day. What was your guess?
50K, right?
50K per day. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let you do the numbers, Quincy. You're the mathematician.
Yeah.
Quincy graduated from Northeastern as a math major. He's a mathematician. So I'll let you crunch the numbers rather than me. But all right, we have our first guest in. So Devin is going with 50K per day.
That's a good guess, by the way, if you guys want some help.
Oh, all right. That's a lot of meals.
Yeah.
But we in the K's or we in the millions? Give no hint.
Devin
It's
didn't
close.
give a
It's the same
hint.
order.
Devin didn't get the hint. So, to keep things fair, I think we're going to make a ruling.
She didn't ask.
No.
In all fairness, she did not ask. I asked. I say over 100,000 meals
In total or per day?
per day. A lot of athletes was going through them things. You got folks who's coming back twice.
All right. Jamal, what's your guess?
I'm actually go in between those two, so I'm gonna say 80.
It's 40. So
40?
that is the closest.
Ooh,
That's it?
Dang.
40,000 per day?
You know what the issue was? It was so bad that I didn't want to go back for seconds and nothing. Didn't want to go back.
That didn't even count. Like we had Chase Jackson on, and she's like, I can't be in there anymore. She went to a hotel. She's like, I can't
I
eat
feel like
this.
a lot of athletes went outside and eat and stuff.
Yeah. All right. What's our next question? That was pretty good.
So the next one is a two-parter because the first part of it's going to give you a hint for the second part. So, how many events in the Olympics involve a ball?
How many events involve a ball? Okay. I mean, there's two that I know of out of the gate:
It is
basketball and
more than two.
soccer.
Basketball, football, tennis, yeah,
Golf.
golf, rugby,
Does
soccer.
shot put count as a ball?
That's a good question.
Okay.
Devin, very good. Hey,
So that means the hammer throw is considered one too. Just got a string on it.
Devin Allen's favorite sport that's not hurdles, handball. If you've been watching our show, he's
Handball,
addicted to
yeah.
handball. So there's one.
Oh, volleyball.
Eyeball.
Volleyball.
Water polo.
Ooh, that's a
Good
good one
one.
too.
Don't they use a ball in gymnastics, right?
Sean's guessing
Like
18
one
on this one.
Oh, it's like a water sport. That's like a water sport with a ball. I think we're just making stuff up now.
Fifi, you've never seen water polo?
Table
That's what I was trying to. Yeah, water polo.
Oh, did Jamal? Who just said? Someone just said table tennis.
I did. Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Is somebody counting?
No.
I've already. Yeah, I was.
About 15 or so, I would say. About 15 sports.
I'm trying to think.
15. Maybe about 15. No more than 15, though. I don't think there's more than 15 sports with the ball.
All right. What? So, Devin, are you going to give a guess? Jamal?
16.
Oh,
I'm gonna go 20.
I have it marked at 15. So,
Ooh.
15.
Oh.
Hey.
so we're tied up. We're tied up at 1. All right, and the second part to that is which two nations tied for the most medals in those sports?
In those sports. So, in those 15 ball-related sports. Wait, two nations tied?
Yeah. One of
Oh,
them
that's-
has more goals than the other. But the nation's tied.
USA.
Wow.
I'm gonna say China. Was one of them.
Those are the two.
Oh,
China, USA.
Wait,
We get half point each. Half point each.
oh wow.
That was awesome.
Jamal, you lagging, Jamal.
I know,
Jamal,
I'm lagging.
Jamal, you were slow out of the blocks in that one,
Yeah,
Jamal.
I
And
was.
Devin
I
was
was just-
hot out of the blocks, as she normally is.
Kind of
All right.
definitely was gonna be my guess.
So then for the next one, this year featured the farthest event from the host city that's ever taken place. It was 9,320 miles away. What was it?
Surfing.
Nice. That one was easy.
Damn. Okay.
Wow, making me look bad.
We're going to have to handicap
anybody-
this because Jamal's getting off to a slow start.
Yeah, I'm getting off to the slow start. Yeah, I'm.
For anybody who wants a stat on that, that's 37% of the way around the Earth. So you went over a third around the Earth for that.
Because I remember seeing something like they had to be on a boat out on the water to catch the perfect wave.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. No, that we were addicted in the Siosik household. We were addicted to surfing early on, but I mean, when track and field comes on, it's like, yeah, whatever. Now it's track and field.
All right, so this is my last one. It's my hurdles question.
Dang.
So, what is the most significant difference from the original 1837 hurdle technique from
Ooh.
today's day?
Is it
1837.
18.
Is it like the lead arm? So like a double lead arm versus one lead arm?
It's close, but you have the wrong appendage.
Legs? Lead legs?
They
Oh, wait,
landed on
that's-
both feet.
Oh,
Oh.
They landed on both feet. Why would they do that?
that's not efficient at all.
Yeah, it's not at all.
Yeah, from what I was
I can't
reading, it
imagine
seemed like
that.
they were like resetting themselves for each one.
Huh. I need a
Yeah,
video.
so that's better.
That's what I said, Fifi. When I heard that stat, I'm like, do you have a video on this?
I need a video of that.
I mean, it was 1837. Yeah, we might have sketches.
All right, so I think we end in a tie.
I thi-
No, I won. Fair and square.
Wait a minute, Quincy. Do you have another question? We can't end in a tie. We're not doing the high
Yeah.
jump from Tokyo. We're gonna do.
Break the tie.
It was
Um,
like, did you see that by the way, guys? Where Shelby was like, no. There's
Yeah,
gonna
I
be.
definitely saw
I was
that.
like, yes, Shelby.
I do have one more.
All right.
So what typical house appliance was removed from the Olympic Village this year?
Microwave.
A house appliance?
Oh, air conditioning.
Dang.
Yup, air
Let's
conditioning.
go.
Y'all don't have
Devin,
AC?
You definitely got that one.
hey, Devin gets
Nah,
gold.
I
Fifi
remember playing.
silver. Jamal, you got bronze. Hey, it's
Bronze
still
is
bronze.
0
Right?
point.
You got the first one, I think. You had got the first one right, I think. That was about it though.
Sean was guessing an iron, and iron was.
The iron. Nah, they had iron in the village. Somewhere.
That's pretty crazy though. AC. There's no AC.
That's wild.
We
Nah.
got fans. My fans started rattling like the last couple of days. I was like, it's time to leave. It's time to leave.
All right, Quincy. I thought that was a pretty successful. We'll have to bring that back tomorrow in the closing show.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, you're
All
back
right, thanks,
behind the
guys.
scenes. We'll see you.
See ya.
I thought that was a good segment.
It was.
We should have been doing this from day
Like
one.
trivia.
Trivia is fun. You're good on trivia night, Devin. I'm. Fifi's like, no.
I don't want Jamal on my team. I know that much. He don't know nothing.
It's too good. All right,
Guys, he's faster than me.
I'm gonna throw like a serious question into this. It's I named the company World's Greatest back in 2018, 2019 when we started. We've had like really deep conversations, Sam Kendricks and all these guys about. I never called the company World's Greatest to be a destination, right? It's not about all the gold medals. It's about the journey. So to me, when I named the company this, it was about the journey that all you athletes go through to become the greatest, athletes that you can be. But let's kind of go around the group, and I'm going to start with Fifi this time.
Oh Lord, can't Fifi get a break? You know what? Never mind. I like being first.
Coming right to you. So, and then you guys can think about it. What does it take to be the greatest?
What does it take? Hard work. No, scratch that. First thing, faith. Faith in the good Lord above. That's the first thing you need. Because faith without works. But faith, you gotta have goals. If you start working towards anything aimlessly, you would continue to go about this world aimlessly. And when you have your goals, there are a few things you need: determination. What are the other stuff? Yeah, help me out, no? Determination. You gotta be strong-willed. You gotta be able to persevere. Cause especially with the sport track, things are not always gonna go how you think they should, or how you plan that they should go. And so when things happen, you gotta be able to, take a step back and find a solution to keep moving forward. Cause stopping is not an option. It's not an option. You gotta always keep moving forward. The right circle around you. You gotta have a very, very good. So you can't be around people who do not, or their goals do not align with yours, because you will get distracted. Good coach, facilities, and their basic needs that athletes need depending on their event. For me personally, because I run mileage and stuff, I go through a lot of shoes, and so just the basic stuff: shoes, spikes. Shot putters gotta have your own shot put, and I just think, oh, physiotherapy. You can't go nowhere without the physiotherapist, chiropractors. It's like a family unit. You need a whole family unit in order to get where you're trying to get to.
Well, before we come, and I want to go to Devin, and then I want to end on Jamal. But before we go there, like you're hitting on a lot of things there, and I think a lot of people who are fans or don't even know that they want to be fans. That's what the Olympics does, right? I mean, we turn on the TV, and you might know nothing about what's going on. Like my mother-in-law is like, "Oh my God, the Olympics are coming up. Send me some stuff so I know what to look at." You know what I mean? So, and it's like people don't realize you guys are, they're all entrepreneurs. right? But then you work within a group normally, not everybody, Shelly Ann Fraser Price trains alone, but she still has a team around her, right? So this concept of, I don't love I get the concept of countries and running for your country and all that, but at the same time, it really is you, right? It's you doing the work, you doing the running. And obviously, then you need a team around you. But for the most part, you're responsible for that team. Some athletes like you, Fifi, are at Arkansas and Jamal, right? I mean, and then that helps provide kind of facilities, right? But then they're kind of using your fame, right, to talk about all the championships and medals won and all that, right? Which is good. I get the trade off. But I just wanted to say, like, a lot of things you're talking about, people kind of assume that you can just kind of do all this on your own, and you can't. You need a team, and you need a good, like you said, a good group of friends, right? You need family around you, all of that, right?
I got
And
one
so,
more important thing:
yeah,
a good mental health. It's one thing I realized. It doesn't matter how good of a shape you're in. If your mental health ain't together, you might as well call it a season. You might as well call it this. I had that all throughout college. I struggled with my mental health, and no matter how good of a shape I was in, I never performed the way I could have. And now that I've been on the circuit a while, I've had some trials and tribulations in life that has made me stronger as a person, not just physically but mentally. I'm able to perform the way everybody, especially my coach, knew, and me. I didn't really know, but because I just started running 800. But like what everybody saw in me, I'm now able to do that mainly because my mental health is together, for sure.
yeah. What do you think, Devin? What's your thoughts on what it takes to be the greatest?
So everything Shafiqua said, and I think a lot of those things are what I started like working on this year. So like she said, the mental health. So I got a sports psych this year that I've been working with just because I realized the effect that my mental was having on like my performances. So I felt like I wasn't really achieving everything I could because I was leaving something on the table because like mentally I just wasn't all the way there. Um, as well as taking care of myself off the track as well. So working as hard as I do on the track, off the track. So um, again with the mental health, as well as I started working with a nutritionist and just going to like I call it like prehab. So just making sure that I'm keeping my body like strong, so that I'm not doing like rehab later on. Making sure that injuries and like little things aren't popping up, and so that's where my focus has been this year, and I think I've seen like a huge difference compared to years past.
What do you think, Jamal?
Yeah, I think mainly it's all about mental. As everyone explained. But I think mainly for at least what I think of, also believing in yourself, because when it comes to like reaching those goals, sometimes you get caught off looking at how other people are running fast, and you think, oh, I just don't necessarily got it right now, and sometimes that can put you in a put you to a bad mental state of not trusting yourself, regardless of how good you're doing in practice and stuff. But also, treatment and all that. But it's really just the mental part of it, because the training is, I wouldn't say necessarily minor to all of it, but if your mental's not straight, you're not going to perform regardless of the plan that is set for you to rather it's to break the world record, to medal and stuff. So if that's not straight, then it's going to be a difficult journey for you.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so interesting 'cause I've literally asked hundreds of athletes, what does it take to be the greatest? And you guys are all in and around the same zone, but with slight nuance differences that are really intriguing, And the mental side, though, is always like I had a hunch a lot of you would say like it's a big part of it, but you'll have like Sam Kendricks going, "Hey, when you're locked in, when you're ready, when you got it all together physically, it's like 95% mental then." Like so it does, like, all of you athletes are at such a high level, right? I mean, that has to be the thing that's the difference maker, right? All right, Devin, you were the one who was going to think of a question for the other athletes. So I'm going to start with you. Did you come up with one yet?
I haven't. I forgot that I was supposed to take it.
All right, but you're a quick thinker on your feet, so we're just going to like say, all right, Devin, let's give Jamal a question, hurdler to hurdler.
Okay. Oh, I think I got one. So, if you could start training today for LA Olympic Games in a different sport, what do you think? Which sport do you think you would have the best chances at?
Ooh, actually, aren't they adding like flag football soon too?
Yeah, I think
Yes.
so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I mean, I already got to speak, and I played football in high school. So I mean, I didn't play it in college as much as I wanted to, but definitely, flag football. That would be, the sport for me because at that point, no one can catch me. So
And
I
he
think that would
confident
definitely
too.
be the sport for LA.
That's fair.
I like that question. The I want to just add to it though for Fifi. If you were to pick, you can't run the 400, you can't run the 800, but you have to pick another track and or field event. What would you pick?
200. Yeah, my
Hmm.
teammates might be hitting, but I ran 69 in practice once. And that's all that matters. 200. Yeah. Catch me off that turn. How about that? Because I used to run the 2.4 before I got switched to the 4.8. So uh, I
What
might
did
go
you
back.
get? I
But
like that. I like that. What did you guys think of the 100 and the 200 men's and women's?
Man,
shotguns.
definitely for the women's side, just because my fellow Iowan Brittany, she ended up winning the medal, so I was pretty excited about that.
For
Just
sure.
watching her train throughout the years and all the challenges and stuff, and the fact that she overcoming all that and making that team and also coming out with an Olympic medal. So just like she mentioned on her tweet, not winning an NCAA title and stuff like that. Like that's a big accomplishment, coming from, what she has been going through. So I think that was definitely, my eyes of showing, the bigger picture and stuff out of that whole event.
How about you guys? What do you think of those two events in particular, the 100 and the 200? You can go men or women, whichever way you want to go.
I was definitely shocked with the men's 200. I did not see that one coming. Not from a mile away. So that one definitely had me like I didn't watch the race and I logged in to watch the results and like my jaw dropped and I didn't even know what to say or do. I just like dang. But that's the sport we in, you know. You never know what's gonna happen. You never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I like the women's 100 because I was super happy for Julian getting St. Lucia's first medal and just doing it for like the Caribbean too because I think that day like the Caribbean we were just on like, we were on fire.
He
Those
started
first couple
so
of days it
early.
was just like medal after medal after medal and I was just loving the representation for like the smaller countries.
Yeah, and then how about the relays? The relays are just so fun. They're just fun to watch. Like as a viewer, they're just straight fun to watch.
They
And
are.
nerve wracking.
They
Oh,
are,
the
right?
women's 4x4 was already won by second leg.
Yeah.
It was a race for second, and then when the camera wasn't showing the race for second much, and so it's just like we already see USA all the way out here, and we not see who fighting in the back much. But the men's 4x4 was definitely exciting. That
Yeah.
was, and then seeing all them splits, that was crazy for sure.
That was crazy. And I thought, Rye coming down for that last 110, 120 meters, and it's like you knew Tobogo was coming. Like, it's like he's coming. Oh God, what's going on? It was so fun to watch. I mean, I liked in what was the relays that were the hurdle relays that you guys did a few years ago. Between it was like mixed relay hurdles where you guys would
The
run.
shuttle relay? I mean, I don't run no
Yeah, well,
hurdles.
you went one way was one of the guys, one way was the women. Like that was cool. the relays are a blast. Like, I think it's a great way because you're mixing up the men and the women in the mixed. You're getting to see new athletes too. Like Quincy Wilson got to run because of the relays. But then there's guys like, Vernon Norwood. Vernon's kind of a relay specialist these days, He's just clutch,
Yeah.
I think I missed the old mixed relay setup where you just put anybody on any leg and see what happens.
Yeah.
I think it was a lot more exciting than that.
Yeah, because I feel like the way they have the mix set up now, where it's the same gender on every single leg, I feel like it takes away from it being mixed.
Yes.
Because like I want to see
woman on the
like a
first
woman
leg.
with like a 50-meter gap and trying to see if like she's gonna get past them.
Yeah.
Like that's interesting.
It
Yeah.
was a lot more
I
exciting.
agree. I totally agree. And I think, who was it where it was in Tokyo? I think it was Michael
I
Cherry.
remember.
Was Cherry on the last leg?
It was Cherry.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
talking to him about it, and he goes, Bob, he's like, I just panicked when I saw her that far out and I still had the baton. He goes, I just panicked. He's like, I thought I was going to lose. So he's just like, I went as fast as I could. There was no pacing, no nothing. He's like, I've just got to go catch her. Because
he's like, I want to hear a woman beat you. So, he's running for bragging rights and everything. I think it was a lot more fun that way.
I agree. I almost feel like they should make him mix it up. But again, given the choice, like I think it was the Polish team that chose to put the women on a different leg and that kind of, but it takes some strategy and it's fun,
Yeah.
I mean, this is what I love though too about track and field. It's kind of, there's no gender difference. You're just like, I'm watching 100-meter women now in the hurdles. I'm like there's no like inequality in the viewing experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like some ways it's like, the W in front of the WNBA. You know what I mean? Is like they started in a place that was kind of negative in a way. If I thought they should just made up a whole new name. But track and field, every event we're just watching great athletes. It doesn't matter. Gender does not matter. Which I think is cool. All right, we only have 15 minutes left. So I'm turning this over to Fifi to say, all right, Fifi, where should we go with the show at this point?
Where should we go? Why am I always put on the spot? I feel some type of way. I don't know. You kind of put me on the spot here. See if you had given
all right. I'm gonna give it over to Devynne. Devynne, where should we go to the show now? I think
I was the one that had to come up with the.
You did have a question, so
Jamal, since he lost trivia night, Jamal, he lost trivia night.
Going forward with it, I guess we can. I would actually like to. I guess the question is how, like, going towards next year for World Championships. How everybody feels in terms of putting the 4x1 last, making that the last event. Because I think that's a bit of, interesting. Because that was a bit, when I saw that was random. So, because I'm so used to having the 4x4, being the closer, and just in my years in track, that's pretty much the hype event, to close everything out. So I guess I don't know, how would you guys, how do you guys feel about that being changed?
I think they should rethink some of the repatriation round for some events. I feel like some events do need it, and others probably not so much.
Probably not. Get rid of the repechage round altogether.
You think so?
That's my hot take. Like, I didn't. In theory, when I first heard about it, I'm just like, oh, that's pretty cool. Most people get to like run at least twice. So like I thought it was cool, but then like once I saw it in practice, I'm just like, I don't like it.
Yeah, because like the men's 400, they had a boy, I think he's from Jamaica. He ran like 44.6, and then he had to come back the next day. Like in the old world, he and do it the next day, which I don't even know if he made it out. I didn't follow up.
Yeah, it feels like it's a big, kind of setback or hardship for the athletes who, instead of just going through on time. But then you see Freddie Crittenden, how he ran his round, and he just kind of jogged, knowing, and I guess he was buying himself a day to get his body to heal up. But it felt like he kind of gamed the system a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
I feel
know.
like that's not like with the what it was for. Is for okay, like you messed up, so here's like another chance. He like intentionally was just like, all right, I'm gonna just chill and like give myself a better chance in a couple days.
I feel like they should take whoever winners of the heat like they usually, and probably the next two or the next time, and then everybody else go. But like to have somebody like right out of the qualifying who probably just PR'd or something, and they had to go do it again the next day, and then if they make it out, they gotta go do it again. Is I mean, you're giving them an opportunity, but then is it really an opportunity when they don't really probably done gave everything they had and don't have what it takes to like make it past the semifinal that they just ran 2 races trying to make. So it needs some rethinking.
Yeah.
Needs some rethinking.
Was
I
it
agree.
4 races? On your legs. Obviously, if you can make the final, probably to that 4th race, it's like, man, like I gotta run again, and this time I gotta run so much harder just because of the athletes next to me. So,
Yeah.
I believe they should take it out. I think it was a good idea, but after seeing everything and stuff, it's just, yeah, I think it's a bit too much on the athletes. But hey, I mean, other people have opinions about it, so.
What did you guys, being a couple of folks that train in Arkansas, what did you think of Ryan Krauser and his performance this year?
He is Ryan Krause. I don't know what I
Yeah.
need to say. What else to say about that? He's Ryan Krause.
He's just that good. I expected him to win, but yeah, he's ridiculous. I mean, I don't know if you guys seen his when he posts videos of him lifting and stuff like that. I
In
think
the weight
it's
room, I see
yes.
like.
We ended up, so Jamal, you'll see it in the episode of the Science of Shot Put.
Mhm.
But we went out to his place after we were shooting with you guys. We shot with him out at his barn that he built, and it's like a world class. But it was like when we were there, it was like late January, early February. It was freezing, and he has no heat in there. There's nothing. So we all have these giant winter coats on and and it's just him and Eric Sullins there, throwing, bending bars. But 10 minutes in, Ryan's like, you guys heading out? I'm like, you got your shots? And I'm like, no, man, how long you going? And he's like, well, this is a 90-minute session. I'm like, yeah, we're here for 90 minutes. Like, this is how we shoot. I'm like, you know that. And he's like, yeah. He goes, NBC was here. They got their shots in 10 minutes and less. But I'm like, we're not going to be able to see the Bulgarians' death squats, in the first 10 minutes. So
The cold down here could get real. I personally don't like. I'm from the Caribbean. I do not like to be cold, so I don't blame them. NBC.
I know. I don't know how you guys work out there. Like, people don't really understand.
When it gets really cold, we go to the indoors.
Yeah.
But me, because I run the 800, some days I have to go outside and run mileage.
Devynne, where are you training these days?
Lexington, Kentucky.
In Kentucky, yeah, I thought so. All right. What do you guys have coming up next? So everyone kind of thinks like, okay, the Olympics are over, that's done. All those athletes they just go home. Probably some of your family members even think that, like cousins and uncles, or
Yeah, everybody thinks my season's over now.
Yeah, I get messages talking about some rest up now. Rest up, we just getting started.
So tell me, guys, where are you going next? What's the rest of the schedule look like, and then when do you shut it down? I want everyone to kind of understand how this works as a world-class athlete.
So I'm probably going to do 2 more regular Diamond Leagues and then the Diamond League final, Brussels, and then shut it down.
So the 2 Diamond Leagues that you're going to do, and then the final, where are they? Which events?
Rome and Zurich. I think those are the last 2 Diamond Leagues before the final for hurdles, at least.
And where is the Diamond League final this year?
Brussels.
In Brussels, yeah. Okay.
I don't know where I'm going to be. I'm going to be up in Europe. You just got to see a start list. You might see my name on it. You might not. I don't know where I'm going to be. I'll be somewhere. I'll be somewhere up in Europe. And I don't know when I will shut it down. That depends on Twitch and, what he thinks is best, especially with World Indoors next year and all that stuff. So I haven't really talked to him because he was still up there and stuff, and I'm already back in Arkansas. So when he gets back, we'll probably talk about it and see what the plan is.
How about you, Jamal? What's coming up?
Well, I've shut down my season, so I'm just resting, getting rehab and stuff, and getting prepared for next season. So that's
And
pretty.
how does that look for you? Like, just give us an idea of how that ramp up happens going into January.
So since I'm gonna be running indoor and stuff, so like I'm most likely gonna start training within like a couple of weeks, or at least just like lifting for me. I'm not gonna necessarily be on the track just yet, and I'll just be in weight room for like maybe 2 weeks and stuff. Then I'll be on the track, lifting and maybe on the track for maybe like 3 times a week. Then 3 times a week. Then by the time November comes, then that's when I'll pretty much be full time or be on the track, that full week and trying to train and get some conditioning.
That's cool. That's cool. I mean, that's what a lot of times what I try to do, like on this show in particular, but in general, when I'm talking to people, this is a full-time job. Like, you maybe you're fully shut down by, I don't know, October 15th, October 1st, maybe a little earlier than that, but then you're kind of, you're back at it. Like, you're not sitting around doing nothing.
Yeah.
You're not just eating barbecue and just like
That's the
putting
worst
on.
thing you could probably do. Sit
Yeah.
down and do nothing because that first couple weeks back, ooh, baby. Yeah, I'm not sitting down.
Yeah, I mean, so you guys, this is a full-time job year round. Whether you're made the Olympic team or not. I always say too, like it takes, 8 people in those 8 lanes to make it an event.
Mm.
Without the person in lane, out on lane 8 or wherever. Devin, where were you? You had that outside lane in the finals, right?
Yeah, so I was in lane 8.
I did want to ask you that, by the way. What do you think about that in your particular race in the 100-meter hurdles? What do you think about kind of that lane 8 position? I just was curious as a viewer.
I mean, it has its advantages and disadvantages. If you're somebody who just like likes to be out of the way, kind of like doing your own thing on the outside, then like you'd appreciate the outside lane. Some people prefer to be in the mix. They want somebody to, because that's where the like fastest people are going to be. So they want somebody to like go to battle with. But then some people kind of just don't like that pressure and just want to be out of it. I feel like I can run well from anywhere on the track. I'd say I prefer the outside, but like I can still do some more things
Yeah, I mean, somehow we're down to our last few minutes. This
You
show
said
just goes
somehow.
so
What you mean somehow?
it feels always like we have so much time to fill, and then suddenly it's like we're out of time. I don't know how that happens. Maybe it was the trivia this time. I want to bring back more trivia. I thought that was fun. So the way that we've been kind of ending the show is we kind of let everyone do shout outs to whether it's family or sponsors or brands or whoever. And then I'll do my shout outs. But we had a rough time ending the show, but now we do have an ending with the help of the breakdancing guys. So once we do our shout outs, that'll be kind of our goodbye, and you guys hang out. Then we'll let B-Boy El Nino and Quickstep do their finish to the show, and then I'm just going to click us out. So
Okay.
let's go around the horn. Jamal, give us your shout outs.
I'm gonna give my shout out to my little brother. Yeah, like I said, he always been watching me running track. And, every time I'm on the phone, he always keeps telling me, run faster. Don't let these guys beat you. But I give a shout out to him because he's been watching me forever.
That's cool. Fifi, how about you?
I got a laundry list of shout outs. First, my coach, wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing without his, I don't want to call him a crackhead, but some of the things he's coming up with, wouldn't be able to do it without him. My teammates, friends, my best friend Naomi, her parents, Michelle Hanby and her parents, my mom, who sacrificed a lot for me to be able to go to the Olympics, my dad, University of Arkansas, they let us use their facilities and all that stuff. My teammates who, we keep each other grounded and focused and determined. ECGC, Island Sips, Koreas, KFC, St. Vincent, Swiftback. That's all I can remember right now. But yeah, that's my shout out.
Where you got, Devin?
All right, so my parents, of course, my sisters, Coach Green is my event coach, Coach Strobe is my weight coach, Taylor, trainer, my nutritionist, Emma, my sports psych, Nick, Puma, and Oakley.
That's good. That's good. I'm gonna start my shout outs with first to you guys for coming on the show. It's so fun to do this show every day, like meeting all of you athletes, and thank you for all the hard work you put in and all the entertainment that we get because of all of your work. So I appreciate you for that. All of our socials for World's Greatest have been kind of rolling around here at the bottom in that bar, so you can find us, on every social platform. Big shout out to HSS, Hospital for Special Surgery. They were our sponsor for the Science of Movement series. If you guys have not seen it, you should check it out. We have 10 episodes. You can find it on right down here. We have Vizio. So if you have a Vizio TV, you can find the series there and some of our other shows as well. And we just found out too, like you could search on Apple TV and find the Science of Movement series as well. You might have to go through Vizio or definitely Curiosity Stream, which is another platform.
I got a Vizio TV.
You got a Vizio or you don't?
Vizio TV. I do got one. I had to just look up a little bit to make sure I was seeing right. I do got one.
All right. If it's a smart TV, then you can find us. So big shout out because we're going to be expanding that relationship, more content. Obviously, I built this company for the drive to 2028 LA. That was the original vision back in 2018, a big 10-year plan. And I think, like you guys, we're right on target, man. I think I've been preaching for a long time that this Olympics was going to be the beginning of the greatest 10-year run of the Olympics all time, and it's going to happen. And I think Paris did an amazing job, and you guys, did an amazing job as well. So that's our end. Quincy's gonna roll that. By the way, you control the sound when that video comes in, so each of us controls it. So Q, why don't you pop that in there, and then we'll say see you to you guys. It's not coming in.
I wasn't gonna say nothing. Jamal could break dance for us.
I can't break dance like that.
Look, you see that Australian lady? I'm sure you got something in here.
All right, let's see if I can find it here. All right, here we go.
Earlier, you said something that made me think of this Nas rhyme, which is basically like, so you could beatbox it. I'll say the Nas rhyme, and then we can end it right there.
All right, ready?
Yeah. Yeah. No ideas original, nothing new under the sun. It's never what you do, but how it's done. That's it right there.
There we go.
Don't quit your day job, my friend. Don't quit your day job.